He's a narcissist. Neutral energy.
Yeah.
Neutral.
You think he'd go away?
You know what I think he was? I think he was a one-hit wonder. Right? He wrote the twist. It's going to be great for comedy. He's coming back.
This stupid election is finally over. Took forever. Like, you know? Yeah. Everybody knew who they were voting for 4 years ago. And then they just drag you through a year and a half of this stuff. Like, who was sitting there watching the debate, like, still not decided? Two of the most polar opposite people ever. It's like, all right, let's see. What does the orange bigot have to say?
This year, you're not going to get a visit from Santa, but you are going to get a visit from the Secret Service.
Breaking news. Trump's hair declared a national security threat. Bill Burr exposes the shocking truth about the commander-in-chief's coiffure catastrophe. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Nope. It's just Trump's trying to escape the White House. Burr's got the scoop on this hairy situation. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video. Picture this. Bill Burr stuck in LA traffic, his face redder than Trump's spray tan. He's gripping the steering wheel so tight, you'd think he was trying to strangle it. Suddenly, some fancy sports car cuts him off, and Burr loses it. He starts yelling at the driver, who can't even hear him. Hey, you think you own the road or something? And that's when it hits him. These entitled LA drivers remind him of someone, but who? Burr's mind starts racing faster than the cars aren't moving on the freeway. He's connecting dots like he's playing some weird game of political Tetris. These jerks cruising down the fast lane like they're the only ones with places to be, Burr mutters to himself. It's like they think they're above the law or something. And then it clicks. Politicians. These drivers are just like politicians. Burr's brain goes into overdrive. He starts drawing hilarious parallels between LA drivers and the big shots in Washington. Both groups seem to think rules are for other people. They zip in and out of lanes, or laws, whenever it suits them, leaving everyone else fuming in their wake.
As you were driving, you were cursing at people, at other drivers, and yelling at them from the car. Yes. Do you ever find yourself in a situation where they recognize you after you've yelled at them?
I think once you start calling somebody like that whole, oh my God, is that the guy from that show, is out the window. And you just want to win the argument. Maybe when they drive away, they're like, hey, isn't that guy from Comedy Central? I don't look at myself like that. I'm in my head, so I'm looking out, so I'm not seeing me. I'm just seeing what they're doing, and it just annoys me.
As Burr sits there, barely moving an inch, he realizes something. LA has some of the worst traffic in the US, and wouldn't you know it, it's also crawling with politicians. Coincidence? Burr thinks not. He imagines a bunch of senators stuck in traffic, probably tweeting about how they're late for an important meeting to discuss why nothing ever gets done. The longer Burr sits in traffic, the more his road rage turns into political material. It's like he's warming up for a comedy special right there in his car. He's on a roll, coming up with zingers faster than a politician can flip-flop on an issue. Burr has an epiphany. He's not just stuck in traffic, he's stuck in a metaphor for American politics. Both are slow-moving, frustrating, and full of people who think they're more important than everyone else. It's like democracy on wheels, except nobody's actually going anywhere.
You think it's an LA thing or is it an everywhere thing?
It's a self-involved thing. I don't know what it is, but it's just, I'm kind of known with all of my friends for that.
You're known for that.
If you call me and I'm in the car, we're going to be talking and it's going to be normal. They don't know how to get into a lane. They get 3/4 of their car in and then their back fender is in the lane and you beep at them and then they look at you and they give you the finger like you're the problem.
Right, yeah.
If I'm talking to a woman, because then she thinks I'm no, not you, the person in front of me, and then they're just like...
But wait a minute. If LA drivers are like politicians, then who's the biggest, most entitled driver of them all? Burr's mind immediately goes to a certain orange-tinted, Twitter-loving former president. He imagines Trump behind the wheel of a gold-plated Hummer, hogging all the lanes and tweeting about how he's the best driver ever. Believe me. Alright folks, let's talk about the Twitter tornado that is Donald Trump. You thought LA traffic was bad. Wait till you see the pileup on Trump's Twitter feed. This guy tweeted more times during his presidency than most people have coffee breaks. It's like he's got a permanent case of road rage, but instead of honking his horn, he's tapping away on his phone at 3 a.m. Picture it, the White House. Middle of the night. While normal presidents are dreaming about world peace or whatever, our boy Donnie's got his phone in a death grip. What's got the tweeter-in-chief so worked up this time? Maybe someone called his hands small again, or he saw a squirrel that looked at him funny. Now, Bill Burr's got a theory about Trump's tweeting habits. He says it's like giving a grounded teenager unlimited data. You know that kid's gonna be furiously tapping away, sending more messages than a desperate ex. But instead of "you up" texts, Trump's sending out policy decisions and personal beefs to the whole world. And get this, experts are saying Trump's Twitter feed has turned into a one-man tabloid. It's all rants and grudges, like he's trying to win a Guinness World Record for most public temper tantrums. It's not exactly the Lincoln Memorial of presidential communications, folks. Burr's got another hilarious take on this whole Twitter circus.
I can't believe like these are honestly going to be our two choices, because I really try to, with each thing, to try to be like, figure out who I'm going to, but I mean, it's got to be, I want somebody in their 40s, somebody that's going to have to live with their decisions. Why? I said die peacefully.
Oh, you did? I didn't hear peacefully.
I did.
Oh,
no, and then you threw that in.
I must have thrown that in, yeah. Bill Burr is here. He means no harm.
How long you been wearing suits? You're supposed to unbutton the coat when you sit down.
No, that's not
bugging
true.
Me the whole time. I don't want, like, you know, with any luck, they'll both die of natural causes before the election.
He imagines there's a team of poor Twitter employees on permanent Trump watch. These folks are probably suffering from PTSD, jumping at every notification, wondering what fresh hell awaits them this time. Oh God, he's awake! Sound the alarms, hide the nuclear codes. But here's where it gets really good. Burr starts picking apart Trump's Twitter vocabulary. He's questioning words like "biggle." Is that even English, or did Trump just have a kofef moment? Burr says it's like listening to a toddler with a megaphone. You know it's gonna be loud, makes no sense, and you're probably gonna need a drink afterwards. According to Burr, Trump's Twitter addiction is like the perfect storm of ego, no impulse control, and a complete lack of spell check. It's a disaster, but damn if we can look away. It's like a car crash, but instead of metal and glass, it's just fragments of the English language scattered all over the information superhighway. Well folks, it looks like we're all stuck in one big traffic jam called life, whether we're battling LA's gridlock or scrolling through Trump's Twitter feed. A recent study found that 70% of Americans think social media is messing up our political chats. It's like we're all honking our horns, but nobody's getting anywhere. But hey, there's hope. Some brainiacs suggest we could fix our traffic woes with better public transport and encouraging people to work in their PJs at home. As for our political pileup, maybe we need to take a chill pill and actually talk to each other without yelling. Imagine that. So next time you're fuming in traffic, remember, at least you're not stuck in Trump's comments section. It's probably messier than a toddler's birthday party in there. And who knows, maybe we should elect Bill Burr as our traffic controller in chief. He'd probably sort out the mess with a few well-placed F-bombs.